Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
In the spirit of reconciliation, Love on Campus acknowledges the Kaurna people, the traditional custodians of the land we meet on today, and we acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander and First Nations people.
Welcome back to Love on Campus. I'm Dr. Amy Matthews and I'm here with Georgia Nichols.
Hello.
And phoning in because she's still on maternity leave, but she just can't wait to talk romance with us anyway, is Kathleen Stanley.
Hello.
And, of course, baby August. Hi, August.
Yes. Say hi, August. He's not saying anything. Hopefully he stays not saying anything. For the rest of the time.
Sometimes he makes the cutest noises. Anyway, we're glad Kathleen is still joining us even though she's on maternity leave because we're talking about the area of interest her research is in, which is the Christmas romance. And I don't know about the rest of you, but Christmas is coming up and I'm pretty excited. Are you excited, Georgia?
Yes, for presents. I'm the Grinch of the group, is basically.
Very smiley, sunshiny Grinch.
Yeah. Just in this threesome, I'm in this trio.
Threesome's appropriate to the genre.
Yeah, it is. I am the Grinch. I am the Grinchy one.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met anyone, though, as Christmassy as Kathleen.
No, yeah. Kathleen,
I think you're the queen of Christmas.
I'll take that title. I know a few people who are definitely at least on my level.
On your path.
I was going to say, outdo you?
I don't know that.
No, probably not.
Last Christmas.
I don't know if anyone does.
Last Christmas, everyone, when I left my Christmas catch-up with Kathleen, I had to get my kids to come and help me carry all the gifts. I've had candles. I've still got last year's candle half burned that I'm going to bring out again with my Christmas decorations. And
I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle candles this year.
No, we expect nothing this year. No. But also you made body scrubs.
Yeah, gingerbread.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, they smell so good.
You cannot tell me that scrub didn't make you a little bit less grinchy, Georgia.
I did love it. I loved it very much.
She did say she loved the presents.
Yes, she did. She messaged me and she was like, "What is this scrub?" I was like,
"It was amazing. It smelled really good."
I find a way to break everyone. I broke Alex as well very early on. He said he was a Grinch and I have broken him on Christmas
so
too.
That's Kathleen's co-supervisor, Dr. Alex Vickery-Howe, who did come in as a Grinch and now has Christmas decorations, a tree, is like full on into it.
I think I can do decorations and I can do trees and stuff.
Champagne, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can do food. I just am not sure I can do family time.
Oh, well, that's different. You just need your own little maid family that you find that
just
you
like
party
so
with.
intense.
You know what I read something?
Like Queensland Christmases, that's a pretty distinct experience of Christmas I have. And they're just a whole different kind of Christmas.
Yeah, right.
They're the
so you
most
go on
Australian
holiday.
you can get. It's like it's extremely hot weather. It's
beaches that you don't like the sand on.
I sound really
smiley. So
it's just it feels tropical. Everyone's drinking like punch. That's a good memory, but that doesn't really,
Yeah, right. I do find as I get older, the stress of Christmas gets higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. Yeah. And there's all these families to mix together because I'm divorced, so the kids have their dad and his parents, and then we have me and my family, but then they also have a stepdad, so it's him and his family, and it gets very, very complicated.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
Friendsmasses I enjoy.
Yeah. I do like my parents are prone to turning up Christmas morning with a bottle of champagne. I will not turn that away.
Yeah. I like a
drinking
morning,
in the morning.
Yeah,
always good.
A morning daiquiri. I made daiquiris
Daiquiris for Christmas. Johnny makes these incredibly alcoholic Pims.
Yeah, yum.
Just deadly
I love
Pimm's.
Pimm's is a Christmas thing for me.
He really tips the gin into that thing.
Yeah, gin with Pimm's.
Oh, yeah, there's a good recipe for that.
Oh, I made mango daiquiris one morning for Christmas and I gave them to everyone and I was like, oh, yay, this is great. And everyone went, Jesus, Georgia, how much? How?
Enough to make you enjoy family time, people.
And I was like, I can't even taste it. What are you guys on?
It is like a season of bounty, isn't it? Like of sugar and drinking and food. That's all fun.
Yeah.
Excess.
Yeah, and I think one of my present wrapping things that I do when I'm wrapping the presents is I stick Nigella on. And I watch her
good
cook.
fun, isn't that?
Yeah, watching the sparkles in the background and thinking, my kid actually, Isla was like, can we just go to her house and eat her food? I was like, yes. Nigella, if you're listening.
Christmas movie traditions, I always watch Love Actually. Yeah, Richard Curtis.
That's another one I can ruin. The one where every woman of a certain age gets a miserable ending.
Yeah. I have specific storylines in it I enjoy. Yeah. Although now that I'm thinking about it,
they're
it's
all
older men, young women.
They're all problematic. Once you start thinking about it, I will ruin Richard Curtis films.
They are all problematic.
Richard Curtis has come out and said, actually, that he would rewrite them all. Like that he has learned his lesson.
Yeah, I think you...
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And not Natasha.
I want that.
Emma Thompson's character
but
deserves...
like happy endings for the women.
Emma Thompson's character deserves, like, the world and more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. She does. She deserves a really lovely romance. And Laura Linney should have got a happy ending. That dude should have stayed. Yeah, he should have driven her to the hospital.
That's so true.
And been there waiting and not been a shallow dick about it.
Yeah, that is really bad.
That was foul.
That is
Laura,
really,
because I
really love that. I really love that bit
that
when
was
she
so
like
romantic.
when he comes over and she
he should have gone to the bloody hospital with her.
Yeah, I always get confused at that bit. I always go, why didn't it work out?
Because a man can't find you sexy if you have responsibilities.
Oh, it was so annoying because it was
I
really
guess,
sweet
though,
up
to be
until
honest,
that moment.
isn't that a real? It was a bit too real. I think that's what we don't like about it. Is that there's a disappointment that there are some men out there that would be really hot and really wonderful, but would leave you to go to the hospital by yourself.
Yeah, but it's romance, Kathleen. We know this.
I know, but you're
be the
always
one that goes to the
talking
hospital.
about how you want these real. You always want these real ones, Georgia. Maybe this is why you like Love Actually.
I want it to represent what should be real. Yeah, that's what aspirational. I want him to be the guy that will go to the hospital, and he should have.
Okay, so thinking about this idea of fantasy, this is a good chance for us to quiz Kathleen, Georgia, on the Christmas romance. So what do you think are the characteristics of a Christmas romance, Kathleen? What are you looking for in a Christmas romance?
It probably depends on, I actually think that it depends on what Christmas is to the romance story.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of different ways Christmas is used, and depending on what it is and how it's used will depend on probably some of those factors.
Yeah.
Whether it's just a setting, whether Christmas itself is almost like a character in the story, whether it's a huge plot device and drives a lot of the story. Overall hope and comfort are the things that I think are major themes in a Christmas romance. There's like a lot of familiar patterns in them. Family based is usually where we're at.
Yeah.
There is this really great, I've written it down because I thought it would be a really interesting way to talk about Christmas romance. So Sheila Whiteley has an edited collection. It's like Christmas, it's for Christmas in popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the only academic books on Christmas.
Which hence why your research is important.
Yes, although it will change because as of next year, there is definitely going to be at least another book published that I am in. But I won't. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it yet. I think have been signed.
Stay posted, everybody, because when the book comes out next year, we'll be talking about Kathleen's chapter.
Yeah, I'm like, my chapter's gone through its final edits, and I've signed my contract, but it is an edited collection, and it will be coming out next year. I know roughly when, but it won't be next Christmas. It'll be much earlier. So. But Sheila Whiteley's, it's very exciting. Nice to be a published author. Sheila Whiteley's Christmas in Popular Culture, she talks about what Christmas sort of is and does. and how it sort of is like when we think about it, and especially when it's representations in popular culture, it has like an idealized nostalgia of the past mixed with a cultural reshaping of the future.
That's interesting.
Here's a thought. Because Christmas is a Christian holiday,
It's not, but yeah, sure, go for it.
It's not?
No.
What
tell us more about that.
So Christmas has definitely, and it definitely can be a Christian holiday for people who are of that faith and of religions. But overall, Christmas actually predates anything to do with religion. And it actually
is that like when it was Yule, like the old pagan?
Yeah. It actually goes all the way back to ancient Rome. And I've now forgotten the name of it. You'll have to give me a pass here because I am on maternity leave, and it has been a while since I've looked at my stuff.
That's okay. You don't need to have all the quotes on tap.
Yeah, I was
this is a chatty pod.
Usually I can remember this like at the drop of my hat, but mummy brain definitely.
Because I know that Christianity tended to absorb like local traditions as like part of the colonizing process of Christianity.
Yeah, so actually Christianity, so like religion in itself actually is one of the reasons Christmas got banned for a while, especially if you're talking like England.
Because it was considered a pagan holiday.
Yes. And they, it was partying and it was wild and rambunctious and there was a lot of elements that were unholy about it.
Midwinter feast?
Yeah, there's like the, what is it called again? Like the midwinter. Like it's basically a seasonal festival.
Yeah.
It is considered the only global holiday. So globally, it's the one time of year where there's almost everywhere in the world there is some kind of celebration. It's not necessarily called Christmas everywhere.
Yes,
but it aligns with the same ideologies and the same practices.
Could we make the assumption that like Christmas has become this idea of a global holiday because Christianity is so pervasive culturally?
No, anthropologist Daniel Miller actually has done so much research on this. And just discovered that there is literally in almost every culture a form of celebration at that Christmas time.
Yeah, like Hannukah.
And follows. Yeah. But they're like, they sort of look different. They're also like not religious based. So it's actually based on kinship and family and connection. And it's really about coming together as a family. So whatever that family looks like. It's like a community-based thing, and it connects us both to our small communities, so like your immediate community, and a global community, so the rest of the world and your place in it.
So my partner's family are very religious and Christians, and so it seems to me there is both things happening at once in the culture. You have a secular Christmas, which my family has always celebrated, which is a family. Yep. We have a tree. There's nothing religious about it. And then it's a very, very high holy day for some religions. Mm.
Yeah, and some religions, like Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate Christmas. There's some forms of, Christianity that don't believe in the celebration of Christmas, especially in the secular way that we would celebrate. And I want to note that anybody who's religious out there going, but it is a Christian holiday, I'm not excluding religion from the holiday. Like, there's definitely religions that celebrate the holiday and have claimed elements of the holiday.
Yeah, because I would say in a lot of, like the majority of Christmas practices, Easter and Christmas are the two highest holy days. One's a day of mourning and rejoicing, and then Christmas is one of the happiest days of the year if you're a Christian.
I just come to wonder, like, if, say, Judaism was like the religion that was more culturally present, right? If maybe Hanukkah would be more commonly associated with like that end of year celebratory family coming together, hopeful moment. Those themes that you say sort of punctuate Christmas romance, Kathleen, like say other religions, Islam, I don't know.
Well, there are all those jokes in like New York jokes and stuff, or American jokes about if you were Jewish, you went to a Chinese restaurant on Christmas Day.
Yeah. So like I just wonder if like these other religions were more I mean, we obviously take a very distinctly Western perspective on these things. If they were more present in Western culture, how that would punctuate the end of the year for us. Sorry, it's getting a bit more philosophically.
So I guess like steering back to.
I mean, that's positionality. That's definitely positionality that affects that. Like what you're talking about there. It's definitely like you take a Western viewpoint, but I think too where we sit in Australia versus say if you were in the US, that's a different conversation.
Because they distinctly are trying to move towards referring to it as a holiday season and that sort of stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it depends where you are. Because there are the Christmas wars at play. So if we go back to Kathleen's research, so the things that you're really circling are this idea of, hope, comfort, and it being based in community and family, right?
Yeah. And I guess if you put me in the US in this kind of environment, people would say I'm doing holiday romance, not Christmas.
Yeah.
Because my focus is not from a particular religious standpoint, and over there they do tend to, not all, but there does tend to be a more heavy religious association with the word Christmas. But generally speaking, it does not have to be religious at all. And a lot of the holiday movies have nothing to do with religion at all. And the books have nothing to do with religion. Some do, but a lot of them don't, and they're still Christmas books.
What are the characteristics then of a kind of holiday Christmas romance? Like holiday / Christmas?
Like as in...
what would you expect to see if it's not religion? What would you see? What are the things that pop up that make a Christmas romance holiday-y?
The one thing in all of my research is a community event.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like the whole community, not just the family?
No, it could be just your family. It could be whatever is community to the protagonist.
To the character, right.
But yeah, overall, a community event, and it could be like a coming together just for a meal with the family. And, it might be called Christmas, it might be called something else. Or it could be a great big festival, or it could be a market, or it could be a show, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it is a coming together of people. It is a slowing down. Yeah. It is a celebration. It is joy. It is happiness. It is hope. It is never it's not a funeral. It's definitely about being comforted. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a perfect family, or that it doesn't play into the idea that family is perfect, or that it's not difficult or hard to face families in the season.
There's a warmth to it, right? Like a emotional warmth, like a big hug.
And sometimes, especially for a romance one, obviously sometimes, you might find that the coming together with a partner is finding that comfort and hope that you don't find in your own family, or that you don't find in your own home environment, or you don't find in your own community, or whatever that looks like. It's about seeking it, finding it, and having it by the end of the movie.
There seems
a
lot of sweetness too. Like, I haven't read or watched as many as you, but I have, since supervising you, watched some Hallmark Christmas movies and read some books. And the things that, like, the fantasy of it, like, really gets me. Like, snow.
Yeah, it's high fantasy.
If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, like the snow and the lights but also, like the Hallmark thing, there'll be cookie decorating. There is in our book this month as well, like cookie decorating and baking and great smells.
Christmas
and
trees.
It feels very traditional.
Decorating.
Like,
there's lots of mixing of traditions.
So I think
that's what Sheila Whiteley's quote is about, though. It's about this like nostalgia mixed with like a modern cultural reshaping. So whatever the world looks like now, but there's always this nostalgia for the past. Like, we did this as kids, or we did this, or I wish I had done this as kids.
So it's
like
about
there's
a
this element of this like nostalgic of a lot of people who hate Christmas in the books. It's like, because I grew up, in a dysfunctional family where we didn't do Christmas and or my family always fought at Christmas, or there was all these toxic elements, and so they've turned away from the holiday, and then they rediscover that it's not the holiday's fault that's happening. It's the fact that you had a dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
And
so when you said high fantasy, can you talk about that a bit more? Because that pricked me up. Because this idea of linking to a past, but it's like,
I was going to say, is there like some nostalgia for traditional sort of family structures and ideas? Not like necessarily like like this idea of forming a.
So we need to. You're trying to tease out nostalgia from conservatism.
Yeah, like is there sometimes this thing with Christmas, because it always comes back to this idea of even if it's not a nuclear family structure, this like something that resembles
or a community of some kind.
Yeah, a communal family structure, if you will. And it's this idea of like recreating that in a sense and having these.
There's a lot of found
roles.
family ones, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be honest, I'm like, maybe the religious ones might engage in that, but I think it does what all romance does, which actually flies in the face of gender rules and things. Like the outward idea, like the thing that gets us about romance is that it seems like it's conservative and it means everybody should get married and, right? But actually there's a lot of nuance, there's a lot of questioning, it's actually pulling a lot of that apart, romance. Christmas romances are doing the exact same thing that's doing it at Christmas time.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is actually pulling apart even some of that conservative, perhaps more nuclear family and saying what you can have is the magic of Christmas, no matter what your family looks like, no matter what your community looks like. But you need to find what that is and what's going to bring you that joy and not let that close your heart off and not let that close you off to happiness and not be afraid. And in fact, when you find love and the right person, you can have hope and comfort and family and these magical moments at Christmas.
Yeah. And so
with
then,
that person.
If we go back to society defined, it's taking Christmas or holiday as a place where the society gets kind of healed through community.
Yeah. I would say that often is probably a good theme.
Yeah. And it happens through like sharing food and sharing a place.
Mm.
What about the Australian?
That's usually.
What about the Australian Christmas romances? Are there differences that you've noticed?
I think the Australian ones are quite. I mean, they're set in a lot more isolated areas.
So the
rural romance is really dominant. It's not that you can't find, like, some of them will take place in like Sydney or Melbourne or whatever. But
I would assume that like the setting is just really the only primary difference between
the food is probably different.
The food is different. The heat is different. The house that they're in,
the guy can strip off a lot more.
They're playing cricket in the backyard. They're going for a swim. The traditions are a little bit different. Instead of like eggnog, it's punch. That's what my family does. They do punch.
So I'm guessing, hold on a minute, I've got to interrupt here. Kathleen, I'm guessing you have made eggnog from scratch.
No.
You never have?
No, not an eggnog. Not an eggnog house, to be honest.
I have not ever really had an eggnog except out of the carton at the supermarket.
My brother buys it every year. He really likes it for some reason.
Stick some brandy in it.
Because it just tastes like sort of condensed milk a little bit. No.
Yeah, I don't know why we're not an eggnog house. We've never been an eggnog house.
What's is it brandy that you put in it? What's the alcohol?
I'd assume it's
Baileys?
brandy. You can probably do any number of things.
Kahlua-nog. That sounds good. Kahlua-nog, yum. Do you know what?
We're a Christmas mead house.
Oh, like, you gave me a bottle of that.
Yeah.
I remember Kathleen gave it to me the first Christmas that I supervised her and said, "This is Christmas in a cup."
Wow, old school stuff, Christmas mead.
Champagne soak. All I drink is champagne.
I'm a Pimm's girl at Christmas.
Pimm's was good.
That's very
except that it got everyone very drunk before lunch.
It gets you so drunk.
So drunk.
It gets me a little
good on a hot day though.
Yeah, it gets me a little
and
dumb
Christmas
drunk.
sangria. Do you guys do Christmas sangria? We do Christmas sangria.
Just punch.
I'm a wine person, so I'm like a snob. I just do wine.
Pimm's makes me dumb drunk. I say dumb things when I went to the cricket on Australia Day and I'd been drinking Pimm's and I went
in the sun, no less.
Yeah, and I was like, and they were playing England and I went, oh my God, they're all British. Like that is the dumbest thing on planet Earth. And then I was driving home and I wasn't driving home, but someone else was, and I was like, oh my God, how do they get the trams on the tracks? That's a good question though. The answer is they crane them on. But
here's another Christmas question for everyone. Now that we've done booze and nog. Okay, I'm going to work up to couples, so get prepared. Real tree or artificial tree?
Artificial.
Real.
Real? Yeah. I wish I had the commitment for it. I love the smell.
The smell.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could deal with like all the little
oh my
bristles dropping off.
They only drop off right at the end and you just sweep them up. Don't have carpet though. It's terrible if you have
My
carpet.
mum tried to completely get rid of the tree last year.
We
She
get a
did
giant one. I had like a 7-foot one last year.
No.
Oh, you told me that.
Yeah.
You have to have a Christmas tree.
No, she wants it gone. Can you tell that we're not a particularly Christmas family?
I love a real Christmas tree. We get it on December 1st and it's beautiful. Okay.
Totally.
So while Kathleen is dealing with baby August who's getting too excited about his Christmas tree.
Can I throw in a question that I do have? This is just a rhetorical one.
Oh, I'll probably answer it anyway.
Okay. Well, I was wondering if we use the term Christmas in the same way that we maybe use holiday.
Yeah.
I would love to know about sort of Hannukah romances or Eid, I think is sort of the Christmas adjacent holiday, if you will, for the Islamic faith. I would be so interested to because wouldn't the 8 days of Hannukah?
They must have
Wouldn't
them.
that be fun?
I'm going to Google this while
Someone
you're talking.
to fall.
They do have them. They have heaps of them.
I would love,
They're very popular now.
Because I feel like
Hallmark do great Chinese Christmas ones as well for Chinese Christmas.
I was thinking.
There's 60 on Goodreads that I can see straight away.
I was thinking.
They're
The
sick.
matzo ball. That's so cute.
Just thinking about the
Good
structural,
one.
just from a writerly perspective, the structural thing of 8 days of Hannukah. Is it 8 or 12? 8.
8. It's 12 Days of Christmas, which is another thing that they do in Christmas movies and books as well.
Just and then Eid's a month or something, or I don't know.
Well, Christmas is a season. It's not a lot of the time Western culture, we build it up to one day, but I think that's why a lot of people put up their decorations early and stuff. And people are we put ours up. We have at least a month and a half to 2 months of Christmas.
When do you put yours up?
Me?
Yeah. Oh, we said last
mid-November
episode.
with pageant.
Pageant.
Now is your chance to explain pageant.
Oh,
to
yeah,
everyone.
we can explain that now. People who are not from South Australia, the Christmas pageant is a thing. Now, sometimes it used to be really earlier.
Pageants in anywhere else?
They do, and they have the Macy's
not
Thanksgiving
SA.
parade,
They do
but
in New York,
the Adelaide pageant is seriously nuts. It's huge. Have you ever been?
Yeah.
You used to go to the Nord one.
No, it's
little
not the same. Have you
It's
ever
better.
been?
They throw out lollies.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Adelaide Christmas pageant?
I haven't
not really.
actually been.
Oh my God, another field trip we need to do.
I'm a Nord pageant girl.
No.
They throw out lollies.
No, but you can do both, Georgia. They're on different days. The Adelaide pageant, when I was a kid, it was the John Martin's Christmas pageant, and then it was the Credit Union, and something else. But it almost collapsed when John Martin's left. But it's enormous, and it was so exciting as a kid. It was,
and they
just
don't
the
do
best.
in
It's free.
Australia anything like it. This is the only place, nowhere else in Australia that I know of.
Yeah, they're so
I've
good.
never thought about the fact that they don't do it elsewhere in
It's
Australia.
so cool, and it's
it's really
magical
unique
if you're a kid.
to hear.
Yeah. And they have these giant floats. I know they have them in other parts of the world, but not quite like this. And they have every marching band in the state, and they have clowns, and they have acrobats, and they have it goes on forever. And then the very last float is Santa. But they have these historic ones that date right back to my grandmother's time. It's really cool.
That's so cool.
For little Georgia, Norwood was also pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, Big Georgia, we're going to drag along to the pageant one day because it's good fun. I'll tell you what if I bring a bottle of wine and we just don't tell anyone and we sit on the hill?
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
And the other thing that the reason why pageant day is particular is because a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people, that's what they usually look at as the start of Christmas season, and they put up their Christmas tree and their decorations on pageant day.
We used to do pageant day.
No, we've always waited because we get a real tree. We wait till December.
Yeah, can't have a real tree.
Yeah, when I lived in Melbourne and New South Wales, we waited for the 1st of December. But then when we moved to South Australia and we learnt about pageant day, I was like, oh my gosh, why am I waiting? We're doing it on pageant day.
But if we think about the Christian element of Christmas, a lot of Christians don't put up their tree until very close to Christmas because they do the 12 days of Christmas, which go past Christmas. So they need the tree to be fresh for after Christmas.
That's another cultural thing. Like in Italy, that's the thing too. Like their Christmas day is the 6th of January.
Oh, and Orthodox. Yeah, Orthodox is different date, like Easter.
That just makes me think about because
Italy have a female Santa.
And then there's Krampus too, that German thing, that evil German thing, Krampus.
I was going to say St. Nicholas. Yeah, I've seen horror movies about Krampus, whoever it is. Yeah.
Krampus.
Oh, Krampus. Yeah, I said the wrong name. There you go. It's because Harry said it wrong before. I'm blaming Harry.
You had the question about real or fake Christmas tree. Did you have another one? Was there another question?
Oh, yeah, about, okay, so movies we talked about while you were sleeping. Are there any other Christmas movies that you love?
While you were sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's so good.
So good. Romances.
Else?
The Holiday I do really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so into it. I don't get Jack Black.
Oh, you don't think he's funny?
He's funny, but I don't want him to be Kate Winslet's hero.
Oh, no, I don't want to fall in love with him. But I think he's funny.
Yeah, he's lovely. He's really lovely.
Jude Law. Oof. And they do the whole dad thing, of course. They do he's the doting father. He's a thing that he does,
Going back to Technicolor musicals, I used to love Meet Me in St. Louis, which had that great song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Judy Garland.
Oh,
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she's in the red velvet dress in the snow singing. It's so good.
Now I have to look up Christmas movies.
Look them up and then we can go through them and say if we've seen them.
When I think about Christmas, I think about movies. I don't think books particularly. Oh, do you know what? There's one called The Family Stone.
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Yes, love The Family Stone.
That one is actually it's got Rachel McAdams in it. And
yeah.
She's really good at it.
Yeah. Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, Four Christmases.
Claire Danes.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's quite good.
Reese Witherspoon.
Ghosts of Girlfriends Past is coming up as a Christmas movie.
Have not seen that.
Yep, that's at Christmas. It's like a Christmas wedding, but yeah.
There's a lot of old Technicolor ones on here.
Sleepless in Seattle starts at Christmas. Can I count that? That's beautiful.
Sure.
There's lots of old ones. I don't know which ones are the good ones and which ones are just on theme.
Kathleen, you've watched a lot of Hallmark movies as part of your thesis. Have you got some recs from Hallmark Christmas movies?
From Hallmark?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably do. It's just whether I can remember their names. My Instagram will have the better ones on there.
Go to @DeckTheShelves, which is Kathleen's Christmas.
For my rec. There's a heap of them. I always like the ones with Bethany Joy Lenz. I think she's just great. So I always like the ones she's in. We're not allowed to like Candace Cameron Bure's one. I'm like, she's too problematic. I can't do her anymore.
I really liked the Office Christmas episodes. They're British
Christmas
Office.
Episodes.
Yeah, I love a Christmas episode.
There's some good Friends Christmas episodes.
We do dig out the Schitt's Creek Christmas episode is amazing.
Yes, it's so good.
Is good.
Merry Christmas, Johnny Rose. Isn't that what it's called?
Do you know what? The Gossip Girl Christmas episodes are always really good. And then on the OC, they're Chris McCart episodes.
Oh.
So it's Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's those are good. The Gossip Girl Christmas episodes, Gossip Girl Thanksgiving episodes.
Oh, there you go. We've got a whole holiday season coming up.
Fabulous stuff. There's a Thanksgiving episode of Gossip Girl that is so iconic. It's it's the best thing that's ever happened to television. there's lots of memes about it. And
of course, Netflix, I think, revived Christmas romance a little bit more in the mainstream again.
Yeah, there were those
Christmas Prince.
Vanessa Hudgens ones.
Yes, the Princess Switch and the Christmas Prince. They're like trilogies. They're both pretty.
The Kristen Stewart one recently. What was that one?
Oh, that was so good.
That was a good one.
We mentioned that before, and I've forgotten the title. The Happiest Season.
The Happiest Season.
Happiest Season.
That's a really good
one.
So good. Single All the Way, and there's
so many Christmas romance movies.
The Holiday Calendar, and there's another one where there's a one about the girl who goes back to her dad's small town for Christmas and has to deliver the Christmas letter, which I've forgotten the name of that one now.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Maybe?
Yeah, I like It's a Wonderful Life. It's not really
okay.
It's got a romance beginning.
I hate It's a Wonderful Life. It's the only Christmas one I hate. It was one of Dean's favourite movies of all time, and he showed it to me, and he was so excited. He thought I was going to love it. His whole family love it. And I at the end of the movie, I was like, that was the most depressing movie I've ever watched.
Why didn't you like it? Why is it depressing?
I find it so depressing because he has all these dreams and all these hopes and all these things he wants to do. And everyone just puts so much pressure on him all the time. And he basically gets told that all of his dreams are like trash and that he just has to appreciate what his life is. And don't get me wrong, like it's nice to appreciate what your life is. But I think
also
that really depressing.
The message of that for me was that he made choices and these were the choices he made. He just wasn't owning them. He was like blaming everyone else. But I actually think he loved her and he loved the town and he did. Oh, yeah. He just didn't realise he loved it. He was trying to blame everyone. But I love their romance when he meets Donna Reed. That's so cute when he's in that football outfit and she's naked in the bush. It's so good.
Bridget Jones's Diary.
Bridget Jones's Diary.
That book ends with the Christmas.
Yeah, when they're in the snow.
It starts with the Christmas as well.
Yeah, that is kind of Christmassy. There's some that I... Yeah.
It's a no-brainer to make a Christmas movie or a book, actually, because if you like it, you'll watch it or read it every year.
Yeah, make a bit of money.
Definitely.
All right. So, we've talked about trees. Now, decorations. Do you decorate? Either of you? How much do you just have a tree? What else do you have?
No, I don't decorate. My mum tries to, but she's a bit of a beige decorator.
Right.
You know, where it's all
natural.
Yep. So
there's a colour palette at work.
There's a colour palette.
Don't clash with the colour palette.
Yeah. You just got to stick to it. But no. No.
I'm going to get you a decoration for Christmas. You have one decoration hanging in your room. Yeah, now
that was really depressing and sad, but I saw.
I bought Georgia a Christmas tree.
You did. You got a decoration.
Yeah, I do. It's actually hung up in my room all year, so it doesn't really have the special. the
Christmas all year round.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, that was a leading question because Kathleen, I just want to hear about your decorations because I know it even includes giant reindeer.
Yes, I do have giant reindeer. We decorate every room of the house.
Wow.
Oh
so we have we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Christmas trees, I think. We have to buy one
Christmas trees.
It's my mum's West.
Are they all big or are some of them tiny?
No, they're all different sizes. And we have to buy one for August this year for his nursery. He gets one for his room. Every year I find a new reason to buy a Christmas tree.
Where do you store them all?
Yeah.
In our garage. Our garage does not, you can't put the car in the garage. It's full of Christmas decorations.
That's cute.
And we have like the train on the tracks that goes under the Christmas tree. I make a lot of my decorations.
Aww. And so when do you start baking? You must start baking early too.
Yeah. I bake kind of when we start, like the day that I usually start the week before we put up decorations so that we have some snacks for like whilst we decorate.
Yeah.
Which it usually takes us a whole day. Like it takes us a full 12 hours to decorate, which it's going to take significantly longer now we have a newborn. We're expecting 2 days. Christmas baking is fun.
We do biscuits and I'll do a pudding.
Gingerbread, a shortbread.
Yeah.
In the little shapes. I enjoy that.
Yeah, we have all the little shapes and we like icing them and that's always fun.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But that's maybe just me enjoying baking.
Yeah.
And I even like buying the food from the shops. I like Christmas themed food, Christmas themed chocolates.
Yeah.
Like the Christmas elves with the popping candy inside. Yep, I can eat a whole pack of them. We have like a Christmas sleigh. Like I made like a table thing with a vase and stuff for the centerpiece of our table, but I also have a sleigh that sits on the table.
That's so cool.
With and it's so full of Christmas lollies. Well, and you can pick at them all year. There's always like lots of Christmas themed food. I mean, I handed out food at my confirmation.
You did. You handed out a lot of Christmas stuff. So
yeah, I bribed everyone.
Did your love for Christmas come before the research, or do you think the research has amped up your love for Christmas? Or
I always have loved Christmas. It wasn't really a big deal in my house. It wasn't not a big deal in my house growing up, but it wasn't like my parents are not Christmas people.
Right.
At all. Like it's not, but the love for Christmas is just flying in the face of my childhood probably. not that we didn't celebrate or anything. It was just like, I think kind of some of the vibes that Georgia has talked about with her Christmas was sort of what mine was like growing up.
Yeah.
And then when I, got out on my own, it was like my chance to do Christmas how I really wanted it.
How cool.
And I just and Dean loves Christmas too. So the two of us just really were able to go all out, and we always have. And
that sounds so much fun. So
yeah, my research has just let me indulge.
Yeah. You do get to start Christmas really early because you were saying Hallmark movies start coming out October, right? Or earlier?
Well, they came out technically, so the day we're recording this, they're already started. They started on the weekend. So the 20th of October was the official start
before
of
Halloween, even.
Christmas countdown.
Yeah, before Thanksgiving as well in the US.
They had Christmas stuff though in the supermarkets this year at Father's Day in September. It was
so
mad.
early.
Oh my God.
That was even early for me, the food. I was like, why is the food out?
But then this year as well,
eating Christmas food
Easter
in September.
stuff was there Boxing Day, I remember, after Boxing Day.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
That's not unusual. I reckon that always happens now. But I was surprised to see Christmas in September.
Yeah. But I think there's something you've said before that you think the pandemic years have given us a longing for comfort and hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people really have lent into it. I think I've noticed a lot more people being more into it and more about it since the pandemic.
Yeah.
I feel and there is, a bit
earlier.
of research.
I do.
Yeah. And it's just crazy. And I will say the Hallmark start early, but Lifetime don't. Lifetime wait until after Thanksgiving.
Right, that's interesting.
But
Thanksgiving tech's a thing. Like, do they do when they use it? Because holidays will often cover all of it, right?
Yeah.
Because Thanksgiving's 1 month before.
On Thanksgiving weekend, they usually have a Thanksgiving themed Christmas movie.
Oh,
Thanksgiving themed Christmas.
Thanksgiving themed holiday Christmas movie. So
yeah,
sorry, I cut you off. I keep doing that. It's because I can't see you. I was just going to say to everyone listening that we have our whole Christmassy month this month. So we will be, Kathleen doesn't get off the hook after this episode. We're going to be asking her some questions about Christmas and her Christmas research every week. So next week we're actually going to be looking at a very Christmassy hero, which is the cinnamon roll hero. I write a lot of those and I love them. I do love a cinnamon roll. And I just want to remind everyone that our book club, so that's in a couple of weeks from now, so you better get reading, is Sarah Morgenthaler's Mistletoe and Mr. Right, which is a very Christmassy book. So it's set in Alaska for Christmas. So there is everything you want to see. There's snow, there's sweet treats, there's all the lovely hope.
It's a rom-com, so there's a few little comedy.
It starts very funny. So do go rush out and get Mistletoe and Mr. Right by Sarah Morgenthaler because we will be spoiling everything in 2 weeks. So make sure you get reading.
Absolutely.
And I'm feeling like I might need some shortbread or some gingerbread or something.
Yeah, I think I'd like some gingerbread.
Some cinnamon something.
So thank you so much, Kathleen, for phoning in to talk to us about Christmas. And we are going to be talking about Christmas next week again, which I'm excited about. So thanks for joining us and thank you, Georgia. And we'll see everyone next week for Cinnamon Roll Heroes.
Boo.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
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 Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.